All of the cucumbers. Cucumbers, you have a positive attitude. Octopi, you have a negative attitude. And the process works like this. In a moment, not just yet, you're going to choose just one of these three to work on with your partner. And then cucumbers, you can only say, you'll talk to each other. Cucumbers, you can only say positive things. Now, cucumbers, I know you're going to have to force and fake some of the positive. Be as positive as you can. Octopi, saying only negative things. You'll do that about 30, 40 seconds, and then I'll blow my whistle, which sounds like this. You'll stop speaking, take the same subject, you will switch your attitude. So cucumbers become negative and octopi become positive. Is that clear? Any questions? Okay, choose one, go. Okay, switch your attitude. Same subject, switch your attitude. How many of you found some positive in this list of negative, stressful stuff? Let's look at some of that quickly. What is positive about student enrollment, low student enrollment, or keeping students, student retention? This side first. Anyone? Yes, ma'am. Nurture and get joy out of those students. Great. How about this side? Yes, way in the back. Stand up and shout it out, please. Right. All right. Yes. Anything else? Positive about those student retention, student enrollment, low student enrollment? Yes, ma'am. That's what, the end? Purpose to be there. Great. So you have a job by enrolling students. Okay, what about regulations, dealing with state, federal, or accreditor regulations, complying with those? What's positive about that? I know it's difficult, but what's positive? Separates the good from the bad. Great. This side? Yes, sir. Stand up, please. Students have more information because of those regulations. What else? Yes, sir. It raises your standards? Yes, ma'am. Job security. How about some money for that? All right. And what about low staff morale? What is positive about that? Did you say it right here? Low staff morale. What's positive about that? Huh? Yes, ma'am. It can only go up. All right. How about a little bit of money for that? Here we go. Anything else? Low staff morale. Positive? Anyone else? Okay, so there was positive, a little bit of positive when you forced and faked some of it. Let me ask you this, and I almost don't have to ask because I heard you. How many of you start to laugh when you were forcing and faking the positive? I know you did. I heard you. So even if you're forcing and faking, trying to be positive, You start to get that perspective because you start to lighten up about it. You're not so serious. There is a whole new science called psychoneuroimmunology, a really big word, psychoneuroimmunology, and basically what it means is what you're thinking up here could affect what happens down here. I want to show you that right now to help you to stay positive. Here's a list of kind of positive, uplifting words: fun, giggle, happy, jolly, laugh, play, smile, and just see how you feel with those words. And now look at this list and see how you feel with this list. Depressed, groan, hopeless, misery, sad, tears, whining. Any difference? And here's both lists. I want to show you how to we're talking about attitude. Change your attitude and help you to stay in the left side rather than the right side. So I need 2 volunteers to do that. Could I see 2 hands up? You're going to get a gift. Yes, come on down. One more. Yes, come on down, please. Okay, what's your name? Kathleen and Lauren. Lauren, you're a school administrator, so put that on. And Kathleen, you're a disgruntled teacher, so put that on. And face each other here. Okay, I'm going to get out of the way. This is the scenario. As an administrator, the teacher's done something you don't like, so you're telling the teacher off. You think you did the perfect thing. You don't understand why the administrator's so upset, so you're kind of arguing back and forth. Okay, so start that, and then I'll tell you what to do.
Okay. Well, what's your excuse this time?
I do a great job. What are you talking about?
Tired of you showing up late. I'm tired of you reprimanding the students. I'm tired of you being disrespectful. And what kind of way is that to dress?
I don't, my style is me, you know, and showing up late it just kind of makes them ready for me, you know, when I come in, and if they don't listen to me immediately, I have to discipline them. So, you know, what's wrong?
Okay, stop one moment. Keep doing that. You're doing great. As you're doing it, I'm gonna call out a word either from the positive side or the negative side, and that's the way you argue. So if I call out jolly, you're really jolly. If I call out sad, you're really sad. Okay, so start again, and then I'll call a word out.
Okay.
You can be real specific of what you did, too.
All right. Well, that's fine that that's your interpretation, but the students are coming to me on a regular basis complaining about your lack of attention to them, your lack of preparation.
That's their problem. That's their perception. I'm a great
Sad.
I'm a great teacher, and you know, I don't understand why they feel that way about me.
Fun.
What do you mean you can't understand? I think that's a fabulous statement.
I do too, and it's so fun when students hate me.
Depressed.
But you know, sometimes, you know, when they come to you, you know, I feel like they're against me and they don't understand.
Tears.
They're so counting on you. I just can't take it.
Laughter.
I'm so sorry.
Let's give him a big hand. Big hand. Woo! And they each get a laughing harmonica. Thank you. May I have the sign back?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. I know yeah, give me another hand. That was great. I know this is kind of silly that you can't do this at your work at college. You can't do that. But what I wanted to show you is you can't be in the left side and the right side at the same time. Folks, we have it's been estimated 40 to 60,000 thoughts a day. And you don't even know it. You're deciding which side you're going to be on, positive or negative side. So try to stay positive. In my first book, The Healing Power of Humor, what I did is look at how do people find some humor in some of their negative stuff. And one person I write about is Tom Sullivan. He's a young man. He's been blind since childhood. He's also an avid sports fan. And Tom said, well, I tried boxing, And he said, you know, that's not a great sport for someone who can't see. He said, so I returned to golf. He said, I got pretty good at the game. And a leading golfer in this country said, Tom, I'd love to play around the golf. He said, but since you're blind, he said, let me give you a handicap. And Tom said, I don't need a handicap. I'm already blind. But Tom said, I'll tell you what. Tom said, let me pick the time we play. Tom picked midnight and won the match. Tom said, take your disadvantage, turn it into an advantage, change your attitude. I took that step one step further, and I looked at how do people who are going through major life crisis use humor? Life-challenging issues, cancer, AIDS, sudden loss, lingering loss. And I wrote all about them in my next book called The Courage to Laugh. And I just want to share with you a couple of these people. Because I thought if they can use humor, certainly you can when dealing with student retention or teachers being late. That's not life-challenging. So I want to share a couple of these people with you. One of them is Linda Ellaby. Some of you may have seen her on TV, and she said, that summer I brought some breastprosthesis to use while swimming. Instead of fastening them to my skin with Velcro, as the directions instructed, I simply inserted them into my bathing suit. When I came out of the water, one had migrated around to my back. Irma Bombeck, the comedian. Also, she said, as I left the doctor's office, the nurse put an envelope in my hand and said, well, this isn't a real prosthesis, but slip it into your bra and you'll look a little more balanced. In the car, she said, I opened the envelope, extracted a small wad of cotton and shouted, my God, I got bigger dust balls under the bed than this. And I went in someone's house, and he was a Quaker, and I looked around his room, and there he had a statue of Buddha, the Star of David, and a crucifix. And I said, Rick, you're a Quaker. Why do you have all these diverse religious symbols? And he said, well, you never know who's right. I'm covering all bases. I also looked at lingering loss. I looked at Alzheimer's, disabilities, and prisoners. And just briefly, disabilities. John Callahan, quadriplegic, in a wheelchair, totally disabled, shows people through his cartoons that we can laugh about what life has handed us. Here's 3 of my favorite Callahans. Don't worry, he won't get far on foot. This town ain't accessible enough for both of us. Don't be a fool, Billy. I also looked at sudden loss. I looked at fatal accidents, suicide, and disasters. And in any disaster, folks, there's usually humor that comes through because it helps us cope. For instance, after Midwest flood, waitress wanted must be able to swim underwater. Major earthquake in San Francisco a number of years ago. I found this sign on a house. Some assembly required. And Katrina, major hurricane, then there was this cartoon was in the newspaper. You know, I haven't thought about Brad and Angelina for days. And Florida, a couple of years ago, that one hurricane after another, so this was published. Florida, the plywood state. Welcome to Florida. We are here, our house is here, our dog is here, our car is here. And then, of course, because of 9/11, there's a heightened airport security, so we can hopefully lighten up about that, like this cartoon. I don't mind these strip searches when I hate it when they put dollars in my underwear.